showing this, but Adam was really gaming here. So
yeah, they had everyone watching us, but like Eric and Tucker, I did the math.
All
like,
the
Eric
cameras were hitting Adam big time because this man was.
I had to plead my case like a lawyer, and keep in mind this guy's the lawyer.
Oh, yeah,
but like,
no, we were.
I was like,
lawyers.
Joseph, Eric and Tucker are being U-turned, so it's coming down to Jazz and Jag and Taylor and Kyland.
Yeah,
and
which
we're
he
like,
knew. So
and I was like, okay,
fighting.
we know Izzy and Paige are going Jazz and Jag. The issue was Chelsea and Jack. We didn't know where they were gonna go.
But we also wouldn't do Izzy and Paige because me and Adam just had an unspoken rule.
I love Izzy and Paige.
Adam got so close with Izzy and Paige. Like, it was so shocking for me to see. Like, I have all these pre-existing relationships, so this is Adam in his own way navigating all these relationships outside of me, and he gravitated the most to Izzy and Paige. So I remember, and not that I was ever going to consider it, but he goes, Izzy and Paige is like an untouchable. We won't even put a burn vote on them. We can't risk Jag and Jas. We don't know where their vote's going, what's going on. We can't risk them getting U-turned. And I was like, okay, that's fair. So me and him are like trying to build our way up on like who we won't. And then I'm like, well, Taylor and Kyland are going to be like, they're a non-touchable for me. And Adam's like, wait a second.
Now we got three untouchables, so then we're just like, all right, we got to just burn. But then Phil hit us with if you tie again, all three are, because we were just like, we're going to keep forcing a tie until you just let us be free, and just said Eric and Tucker.
we start arguing with, we start clowning Phil. We're like, we're going to game the system, so it's just Eric and Tucker.
Over and over.
And they start coming to us because me and Adam are arguing so much, like in our teams. And God, it got so dramatic. So obviously it ends up being a tie. And now it's between Taylor and Kyland and Jag and Jas.
And so that's when we knew where everyone's going to vote. We knew, Joseph and I knew it was coming down to our vote. That's why they started the other end. Like, we knew, like, okay. Yeah. And are we U-turning 3 or are we U-turning 2?
Turning 2. So this now is the discussion. So me and Adam start from the top, which is, and this is why it gets emotional, and this is where me and Adam start fighting. So Adam's being very logical brain here. He was like, Joseph, I know, like, I love Taylor and Kyland too. This is nothing personal, but we need to consider the fact that 3 teams can get U-turned instead of 2, and it's not just 3 any teams. It's the 3 strongest teams. And so me and him start going back and forth, and I go, yeah, but that 3rd team is Taylor and Kyland. And I'm not on board for that. And Adam's like, no, we need to talk about it. And I was like, it's not an option. Like, it's not on the table. And this is where he invokes like the brother card for me. He's like, you need to start listening to me. And I don't think any of this makes the edit. And this is when the producers and everyone are coming in because me and Adam are not seeing eye to eye. It's getting to a point where like Phil's running a clock and me and this man are going back.
Yeah, Phil was like, you have 60 seconds. Everyone's locked in because
everyone already has an issue.
Like, it took 5 seconds for every person to be like Jazz Jag or Taylor Kyland.
Yeah, but locked. Me and Adam were
and
like,
everyone's just watching us, the camera crew, the other team's Phil, and he's like, Joseph and Adam, you have 30 seconds.
Yeah,
15 seconds. And
so he starts counting us down because we start fighting, but then the producers are kind of like, let these two hash this out.
Yeah, they're kind of like, hold on, Phil. Like,
they were like letting you and I hash this out, but don't air any of it. So we're like fighting. So Adam's looking at me and he's trying to talk to me logically, and I remember a couple of the things you were making an argument to me. Which, by the way, that is where I think there is a scene where you see Adam yell at me. You see Adam yell at me and say, like, you have love in one hand, love in, like, your relationships, or $1 million in the end. And it's because I'm fighting with him. By the way, I'm holding the board now this time. So Adam, oh my God, it's actually so dramatic.
So I'm like telling Joseph, like, look, man, like, it's like your love and your emotions on one hand, and you're getting in the middle of my $1 million. So I'm gonna need you.
Well, he also, so he warms me up, like he's trying to lawyer Big Brother me, which I get what he's doing. First, he tells me. I start saying, like, dude, there's no way I can let you put Taylor and Kyland in that box. Like, in full transparency, I was like, I can't let you put Taylor and Kyland in that box. Adam goes, okay, then let me be honest with you. He goes, there's a chance I do put her in that box and Kyland, because when you're around Taylor, and I guess this is leaning up to it, he goes, your senses are dulled. Like, he was like, I've been racing with you. When you get near her and Kyland, like, you're not on your A game. Like, And there was a lot of things that he put leading up to that. Like he was like, there was times you waited, times you did this that just didn't make sense, and it was just because you were trying to get near them. And I was like, okay, I hear you. Like I'm.
Oh, here's Taylor.
Oh yes. Get in here. Oh, this is gonna be good. Oh yeah. Okay, first we gotta say we're sorry.
How sorry are you?
Oh my God! You already heard me say it a million times. Which, by the way, you could not pop your head in a better time because we're talking about the argument.
No, I heard a little bit. Hold on. Where's my brush?
So this is a little bit awkward now to say because she's here. So Adam basically starts telling me, and I guess you guys can kind of see it, like whatever. Jailer's cracking up, Jailer's doing whatever, and Adam starts looking at me and he goes, "Hey, buddy, like snap in. Like I've seen you on Big Brother." And he starts basically telling me I need to space you two. So he's using that as justification. Like, it's better for us if you two aren't here.
This is some bullshit. Own your shit, Joseph. You're just putting it all on Adam. I've heard this. Because I heard the same shit. I've heard the same shit.
I'm not putting it on Adam. I'm saying how we got to where we're at. So, because keep in mind, in the beginning, I'm not pro 3 people U-turn. Adam is. Adam's pro 3. I'm not.
Look. We have not sniffed the first. Like, not sniffed it, not touched it, not anything.
Y'all were ahead of us.
Taylor, we were ahead of you, but we were ass ahead of you. Like, we were like really ahead of you.
Yeah. And by the way, we're also working in like a.
Y'all were ahead of us in Prague. Y'all were ahead of us. What was that?
No, but now you're ahead of us. Your average is better than ours now. Now your average is better than ours, and we're in a major alliance. You two are just running the back, like figuring this shit out. Like we're working.
And I'd touch a roadblock.
We were in an alliance with you.
Like
you guys are, but you're in the alliance with us, but you're nowhere to be found. Jag and Jas, by the way, I remember when Adam was arguing with me, he would tell me. He was like, by the way, you know, Jag and Jas has been working in a major alliance. He goes, Taylor and Kyland are doing well, and they're not near us. Like, they've been doing this by themselves. Like,
okay,
and then Adam, what he was also arguing too, because keep in mind, where we're at right now when we're arguing with your guys' card is whether we're gonna do 3 or 2.
What?
So then Adam literally looks at me and he goes, what was it? Adam, what was the thing you
I told you just hold the board up, and I was like, I'm gonna put someone in, and I'm gonna be so honest with you. I put Jas and Jag in. I put Jas and Jag in.
Okay, that by the way, that was Taylor.
I swear,
I know you guys don't believe
Taylor,
it, but I argued so hard.
Darren saw me put Jas and Jag in. And then as Phil was like, all right, your countdown's done. Like, it's time to leave. I'm going to be honest. Like, as Joseph was walking away, he handed me the board. I pulled Jas and Jag out and put you guys in.
They don't show it, but I told you, Adam, at the end of it, me and him were going to war. Like, we did not agree on this at all.
That was me. And so Darren was like...
just showing the corner of his face as he's scared.
Darren was like, who'd you put in? Who'd you put in? And I was like, you'll find out when I flip the board. And then Darren went to Phil and whispered in his ear. You remember when he whispered in his ear, like, I don't even know who Adam put in. Joseph doesn't know who Adam put in. And that's when he whispered in Phil's ear. And that's why Phil went the other way, because he wanted us to be the suspense, like,
yeah, nobody knew what Adam did. Nobody knew what it wasn't.
Wait, for the second vote, you're saying?
For the second vote, because I put Jas and Jag in, and then I pulled it out, and then I put another card in, and no one saw me, no camera crew, no nothing, and I was just like, Joseph, you're gonna just deal with the decision I make, and we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, what's also crazy is I remember Adam goes, this is when he put Jag and Jas. Taylor Kyland, I'm holding your guy's card, like the one that he needs to swipe in. He goes, give me Taylor and Kyland's card. And this was so dramatic. Even the producers like, oh. He goes, give me Taylor and Kyland's card. I go, Adam, I cannot give you this card. And then he goes, then nobody's going in. I was like, Adam, I'm not giving you this card. And that's when he invoked like the brother thing. He goes, you need to give me Taylor and Kyland's card. I go, Adam, I'm not going to be here if that's what you're going to do. That's when I walk away. Adam takes both. He then feels bad about me because now I'm upset.
And I put Jas and Jag in.
He puts Jag and Jas.
I put Jas and Jag in. And then Phil goes, your time is up. Start walking back to your spots. And while I was walking back, I pulled out Jas and Jag and put you guys in, but I didn't show anyone in there. Like, who'd you put in there? And I was like, I don't want Joseph to know what I did. I don't want him to
Yeah.
when I
See,
flip.
I know at the end of the day, but Adam can attest to me. I put up a fight, like even though it didn't. His logic
That's
was
bull. No, if you put up a fight, you wouldn't stand there and say, "Oh, I just walked away."
I will own it. I will own it. At the end of the day, I knew there was a chance of risking you two guys by walking away, and I'm gonna hold my L there because like that's where I hold my jailer L. Is like I knew there was a chance Adam did put you guys in, and his convincing argument to me was, I'm not gonna lie, he goes, Joseph, the only better thing than 3 U-turn teams is 2. And here's one thing he also said that I will hold that I was like, you know what, if they do get U-turn, he goes, it's Taylor Hale and Kylan Young. They're not going home. I was like,
well, I was like, look, it's 2 teams or it's 3. So I was like, we're going to U-turn 3, and then I'm going to pray to God that Jazz and Jag and Kylan and Taylor work together and send Eric home. And I said that right next to Eric and Tucker. I was like, respectfully, I hope you guys go home.
Yeah,
and that those 2 teams hash this out. Put it out. I said, put your personal feelings aside. And
moments from the game with as far as the actual rolling the boulder and all of them stuff. I'm like, take out 10 minutes of that. Take out 2 minutes of that and show 2 more minutes of the conversation.
I'm so shocked they didn't show Kylan and
Jazz. I thought they were going
to
to show Kylan and Jazz speaking.
I'm shocked they didn't put that in there.
Kylan and Jazz, was all of us got uncomfortable.
Yeah, that one was crazy.
Though, even outside of that, it just was weird. Like I'm so annoyed at the recap thing. Was talking about the recap. Like Kylan and Taylor.
I don't think they can say. Oh, the recap is that Jazz heard him in the middle of the night
in the air base. Yeah,
I know. But I'm saying even before that, the recap about the thing with Eric, because that was just us saying like, oh, this is what happened.
Yeah.
There's like a joke. We're talking about something we heard.
We're told.
And then they're like,
told.
and then in the recap, it's just like, oh, this is. Like as if we came up with a theory or something on our own.
They manipulated that hard. They manipulated that hard, I would say.
Yeah,
I really wish they showed your speech and then they showed like me being like, I hope you guys work together to send this team home. And
because they can't. A lot of it doesn't make sense because they didn't show you saying that, Adam. You can see there's little snippets of us being like, oh, the plan is working, or 2 teams working signifies Eric and Tucker going home. That doesn't make sense without the context of your speech where you were like, hey guys, we're slowing down and U-turning you 2 teams. You guys are stronger. Work together. Cooperate. Make sure Eric and Tucker go home. And then obviously we slowed down 2 of the stronger teams. But you can hear us alluding to that being the plan, but it's never fully said. It just sounds like we're like, oh yeah, 2
yell
teams.
At him, Taylor.
Sure. You guys didn't really explain it well in the moment. Like if you wanted to make a decision, just stand on your decision in the moment. Here's the thing, like whenever you guys talk about it, you just kind of word vomit all this stuff, and it sounds like you're looking for every reason to justify what you did. So like one will stick eventually, right? So
I mean, I made the decision. I don't I'm standing on my decision. At any point, if I alliance or not.
What was the decision? Was it you turn 3 teams because that's better numerically, or was it you turn Taylor and Kylan because they're a strong team?
It's both. It's both.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be exclusive.
Yeah, there's multiple.
You're a strong team, and I'm U-turning you. Let me put it like this: if it was Chelsea and Jack, I would not U-turn them because that would guarantee they would go home, and not an Eric and Tucker or Jazz and Jag. I think
with Eric and Tucker and Jag and Jazz were strong as those 2 teams.
Yes, and the only reason why I didn't do that was because, and I said this in there, was that Jazz and Jag and us were in an alliance. So I think you guys are in the same tier as those 3 teams, and 3's better than 2. But if it was an Izzy and Paige and Chelsea and Jack, I would not U-turn them because they would go home against Eric and Tucker on a U-turn.
Also,
you guys wouldn't, as it shows.
But in hindsight,
as it shows, you got lucky that Tucker's dyslexic.
Did I get lucky, or did you guys play well?
What? Did you see us at the Olives shitting the bed?
And then look what happened at the Greek alphabets. You did great.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a gamble I'm going to take.
You can
Tucker
call it
got
luck.
1 letter wrong after however many tries. We only got there because we were late.
And then you smoked them.
Let's say like, oh, we you know what? Maybe we should just let 2 super strong teams go out against each other. You know?
But then that would have been me going against my alliance. And I can get a 3rd team going back with them.
Joseph, what was that about alliance?
We're all in the alliance.
So you throw us in there.
Yeah, Taylor.
Going against the alliance.
Yeah, Taylor, the same way that you although in hindsight, Tucker and Eric and Jag and Jess are very strong teams. in that moment in Athens, which this is why all this context matters. You and Kyland are a very formidable team. Like, I know you're like, no, we got lucky beating
Just
Eric
say you're
Tucker.
scared.
What are you saying? Yes,
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Yeah, no,
Talk about Eric
nobody's.
and Jag and Jazz, and we're supposed to be in the same tier as them after all the first places you've seen them going back and forth. And then Jag and Jazz, you guys are talking about
they're tier 1A, and then they're tier 1B.
And then
Even
what's going on with, you guys are so scared of Taylor and Kyland.
It's not scared. It's statistically the smartest thing to do.
Statistically, yeah. If you're going to do the math of a team that could work together to defeat Eric and Tucker, you, Kyland, Jag, and Jazz make the most sense for that. Like, do you tell me if that? Again, you're like, oh, you guys are so lucky your plan worked. That's the point of a plan. Like, the plan was to get Eric and Tucker back and then slow down the other two strongest teams.
There you go.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. No, I think that so I've actually maintained the second thing that you said there about it's always going to be better to have three teams disadvantaged as opposed to two teams. If you're not one of the teams, that makes sense. I think, and that's actually what I have, which she knows, defended until we understood like the math of that. And I think that that's always been the case. I think that the thing that's happening now, though, that you guys are now putting me in a weird spot because I've said, like, hey, that is the logical thing to do. It doesn't matter who the teams are. That's always going to be a logical thing to do. Disadvantage three teams as opposed to two teams. But then now, I think switching it to the plan is for them to, like that you wouldn't have done a Jack and Chelsea or any other team. I think it hurts the argument. That is a very logical argument. So that's why I'm like curious of side.
Kyland, I understand what you're saying. Like, I guess Adam's point in making it like, oh, we wouldn't do Jack and Chelsea is that you slowing down Jag Jazz, Taylor Kyland with eliminating Eric Tucker is the goal here. Like, that is basically the objective. Now, Adam's point in being like, hey, we wouldn't do Chelsea and Jack is because that wouldn't be slowing down Chelsea, Jack, and let's say Jag and Jazz, and eliminating Eric and Tucker. That would be potentially eliminating Chelsea, Jack, slowing down Eric Tucker, Jack.
I think it's
literally the same. If you swap it out, you're hurting your own argument.
How?
No, it's different.
Chelsea, Jack had a knee injury. He was not going through two detours and surviving against Eric and Tucker and Jazz and Jack. Only one team could go.
No, Adam, what happened?
He did one detour.
And then what happened?
And they survived doing one detour.
Angry. I'm talking like this because I'm angry.
Taylor, there's one team there. There's one team there other than Jazz and Jag that could beat Eric and Tucker in a U-turn. It's you guys. That's it. And so we had an opportunity presented to us to slow you down, slow them two down, and still have our two teams that we want to go forward.
And then Chelsea got there and did it in two turns and got out ahead of.
And if she had to go to the other detour, would she have survived?
Finish with us,
even though would have passed the rest of us, even if they did that other detour and got there.
Absolutely not. Did you see their navigation?
You can't guarantee that. Again, I'm using your own argument here.
No, did you see their navigation? And you're trying to tell me that she would survive? And
then if they got it right this time, like you're throwing variables in here for your own argument.
Yeah, I'm throwing variables in because that's what I have to do when I make a decision. I don't know the future. And in the decision presented in front of me was a U-turn of the team that I believe is the third best team on the show. And so I said, I'm going to do that because I think the third best team can beat Eric and Tucker.
You're not making sense. Again, you're talking about statistics to back up your argument. You want you turn three teams. You want to protect, and you also said like, oh, I'm protecting my alliance here. At what point were we not aligned? At what point were we not trying to help each other? Like,
I have a locked-in alliance with Jazz and Jack. That is locked in. That is in the episode. You have seen that. That is my alliance. I have an implied alliance with you, Taylor, because of our experience and our relationship prior to the show. Yes.
And every decision that I ever made was always in favor of you, protecting
like the
you.
express pass.
Taylor,
Yeah, and you know exactly why I did that with the express pass.
Okay, but you have an implied alliance with us, and you made a decision that's best for
An
your
alliance
team.
with people you're also aligned with.
Taylor,
And I made a
And
decision.
we're fighting from the back of the pack.
And I made a decision saying that you two would work together, and with you two working together, Eric and Tucker would go home. And in hindsight, I was correct.
You got lucky. You were right. You got lucky.
No,
Taylor,
I did what was best for my team.
But Taylor,
that's what I did.
Even if we're gonna call it luck, you finish. You and
brother Joseph, go ahead.
You and Kyland finish. Let's keep in mind, you guys are finishing with the 3 teams who were not U-turn. You guys, no joke, when all Chelsea and Jack, Izzy Page, me and Adam.
No, we're not finishing with the 3 teams who are not U-turn. We're fighting in the back with the other team who was U-turn.
Yes, correct. But Adam's point he's making is if any one of those 3 teams who finish next to you, you're like a couple seconds behind us. You walk like no joke.
No, we're a couple seconds in front of Tucker and Eric.
Correct. But Adam's point, what he's trying to make is you guys, with doing the other detour and getting over there, you're finishing ahead of Tucker and Eric and right before the 3 teams who were not U-turn. So his point he's making is you guys are a strong team. I know in hindsight, you're like, hey, why are we getting grouped?
That's bull. Did you watch literally what happened? Tucker was 1 letter off ahead of us from getting this all right.
No one knows that.
Yeah, but we don't. Yeah, but
no
Taylor,
one knows that.
You're talking when we're standing there debating what's going to go on. Like, not at the finish line. How would we know that? Like, at the end of the day, when we're making the decision, the goal was Taylor and Kyland are a very strong team. We don't want them eliminated, but they're significantly stronger than us. If we can slow them down, slow Jag and Jazz down, eliminate Eric and Tucker, this is a perfect world for everyone. And that was kind of the objective.
No, it's a perfect world. Let me be clear. It's a perfect world for Joseph
us.
and I.
Yeah,
for Joseph and I. And that's
game.
what I made a decision on, Taylor. I did not want you going home in Greece. I did not want Jazz and Jag going home in Greece. I wanted Eric and Tucker going home in Greece. However, I did want
you didn't want Jag and Jazz going home. You're going to put both teams in jeopardy.
Yes, exactly. Because at the worst case scenario for me, Taylor, I need you to see it from my perspective. Worst case scenario, Jazz and Jag go home, or Taylor and Kyland, or Eric and Tucker. So one of the top 3 teams go home in Adam's scenario, and Adam's guaranteed to survive. However, in the best case scenario, Eric and Tucker go home, and my 2 teams that I want to go to the final 3 with survive. So that's my best case, and that's my worst case. Why would I not take that approach? I just don't understand why I would say no to that approach.
You know why I can't say that.
I mean, that's what Joseph's argument was there in Greece. And I said, I'm going to be honest with you, Taylor. I'm going to be honest with you. I said I'm going to sidestep that. Joseph made that argument, and he did. Yeah, and I said I'm going to sidestep that, and I'm going to make this decision. If you just look at it from best case and worst case, this is what it is. There's no loss for Joseph and us. The only loss is slowing you and Jazz and Jag down for the risk that you go home. Yes, I do admit to that. I weighed Eric and Tucker going home more valuable to me than the chance of you going home. That is the truth. I knew I was not winning the amazing race with Eric and Tucker and Jazz and Jag in the show. I needed to take a gamble and send one of them home, and that gamble was your life, your team's life, and I'm going to stand on that, and I will take that gamble every time.
Taylor, the problem is any argument you're going to make to Adam now, I made to him on the mat. Like, this is what I'm, and I know you're going to be like, no, you didn't.
Walk away.
Yeah, and this is where I will hold Adam at some point, which is I'm agreeing with him now. What he said started to make sense. And he was like, you're just arguing for the benefit of Taylor's game. He's like, me not being able to U-turn 3 teams right now. I get one of them's our ally. I get you're really close with one of them. He goes, but we're on Amazing Race. It's $1 million. I'm invoking the brother card. If you don't let me U-turn a 3rd strong team, whether you want to argue if they're the strongest or not, he was like, you're not playing this game for me. You're still playing a game with Taylor and Kyland. And he goes, if you're not going to let me do this, this is my reasoning. Basically, everything he's saying now, he's like, I'm overriding you. I'm U-turning 3 teams and not 2. And again, which I'm standing to here now, I put up every single thing you're going to say now, Taylor. I've said to him on that mat in the dirt with the producers in our face, eye to eye, drooling at the mouth. I gave him every single thing to the point where I took the card from him and was like, you can't put Taylor and Kyland in. He said everything he's saying now, and then it all ultimately came down. He was like, Joseph, we are playing for $1 million. That's a very strong team. It's Taylor Hare, who already whooped your ass once, and Kyland Young, who would probably whoop your ass also.
Taylor, can I hear your opinion?
I'm going to put 3 teams in the back and slow them down, and that's my decision, and I'm going to do it. And I argued with him so much that when I walked away out of frustration because I heard what he was saying and it made sense, he felt so bad out of frustration. Like he mentioned, he put Jag and Jas in there. But then when I walked away and I'm not there to emotionally influence his decision, he put it out and he put Jag and Jas, and he's like, I'm U-turning these three teams. Unfortunately, it is a very difficult decision, and there's more than one reason for it going. So if we get hyper fixated on one reason or one comment or why this makes sense, it's gonna, we can go back and forth all day and all night about it. Especially, there's obviously just multiple competing relationships here.
Taylor, I also want to mention one thing is that there should have never been a second vote, because when Joseph and I did our math, Chelsea and Jack was not supposed to vote for you guys. They were supposed to vote for Eric and Tucker. And though that was the 2 teams that were supposed to
that was our understanding.
Once we got pigeonholed into making that decision of the 3 team, because the first time, Taylor, like you mentioned, we had an alliance. I didn't vote for you the first time. We burned the vote. That was my alliance. But when I was stuck to make a decision between you and Jazz and Jag, I will be honest with you and tell you I lean Jazz and Jag because I raced with them longer. And because I raced with them longer, Jazz and Jag.
There it is. I just
Jazz and I have never hid what my decision is. I went Jazz and Jag because one, Jazz and Jack has helped me with my blood sugar and helped us a lot. And I told Joseph that. And I said, 2, I do believe if they can put their feelings aside, both those 2 teams can work together and send Tucker and Eric home. And it's 3 teams you turned than 1. None of this is mutually exclusive, Taylor, where it was like one thing or the other. It was a just streak of things Joseph and I can just win. And I was like, Joseph, the one reason why you don't want to do this is because it's Taylor. And I'm sorry, that's not enough for me. I need to send Eric and Tucker home. That is my goal here today. And this is the gamble. This is the shot. Amazing Race is giving to us. I'm taking the shot. That was it. And Joseph didn't have a decision in it. I did, and I did it. And I'm going to stand on that.
There's a lot of like conflicting things that just weren't shown. Like one thing when Adam was arguing with me, he goes, Joseph, you can't be, just because you like Taylor and Kyland, tell me after some of the things they didn't show, like when Jag and Jas helped when his sugar crashed and moved the platoon, which that's not on there. He goes, how the hell am I supposed to now put a team who stopped their race to help me with my blood sugar and U-turn them and keep 2 teams from you? So there's multiple reasons. Like when me and him, which is so frustrating that the edit doesn't show any of me and Adam fighting. Like we were going at it with multiple reasons. And they just kind of chalk it up to me being like, oh, like, I don't know, Adam has to. It comes down to, I'm like, I have to walk away because you're making sense, Adam. Like, my brain agrees with you, but my heart will not give you this card. Like, I can't bring myself to still do it, even though as your brother, I agree. I hear what you're saying. You want to pick one reason out of the multiple, which there's multiple competing factors. The one would be his logical answer is you're racing for $1 million. I'm your teammate, no one else. And 3 teams is better than 2. That's like his big takeaway spiel. There's a bunch of other nuance arguments we could get caught up, but that's his big takeaway.
Yeah, this is the first time you're actually like saying that and standing on that, Joseph, because when we talk about it, it's just...
No, when we talk about it, obviously I tell you there's nothing I'm saying here that's new. Like I've definitely shared that perspective to you multiple times. Like I've 100% told you
to actually say that out loud. You see what I'm saying? Like here's my thing. Like from my perspective, it feels like the logic and the statistics are just being used to cover the emotional aspect of it. And I wish you guys would just stand on the emotion of it. Because when it came down to it, you guys already had a vote on you as a penalty.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know that, but still, like when we were handed those cards, it was literally like had your face in our hand, pushed it to the side in the hottest second, said no, we would never do that to them.
And we did the same to you guys.
We did it initially also, yeah. Like Taylor, again, it's not like it sounds like Phil was just like, hey guys, pick a team.
Hold on. Okay, because there's a lot of this going in circles, and I can so there is information that you guys have provided here that allows the clarity, and I think that I understand Taylor's frustration on multiple levels, but I also understand, I have a different relationship with both of you, everyone here. So I think just so you guys know, where a lot of the room for the frustration came in for Taylor from a lot of the conversations we've had and stuff you guys are saying right now is there was a lack of directness, and I understand the whole thing's complicated. There's multiple reasons. I agree with that, but the bottom line was that is like I said, statistically, take out whoever it is. It's always to the advantage of any non-U-turn team to have 3 teams U-turned instead of 2. If you just look at it, my goal is to survive. My goal is not to figure out who gets second, who gets third, who gets first, who gets fifth out of these 6 people. My goal is just to make sure I am not last. And as an individual that is not U-turned, it's always going to make sense to have 3 people U-turned instead of 2. So that logic on its own makes sense. I think that a lot of the place where the discrepancy comes in as far as like where things get emotional is the other thing that you mentioned here is like, hey, I'm making this gamble for you guys because I have the 3 strongest teams in, as Adam was talking about that, and that makes sense. It's like I want to have 3 strongest teams in, and the reality is, for you guys, for any team, it makes sense to gamble. The 3 strongest teams is the best thing to do because it's like, hey, at the end of the day, one of the 3 strongest competitors against us winning the end of this game, $1 million, is going to go home. Ideally, I want it to be the outcome that happened. Eric and Tucker, I want Jag and Jazz. And you were very clear about Jag and Jazz. I'll let you guys talk in a few minutes. Hold on. Give me another 30 seconds. So I agree that the ideal scenario happened. And then to Adam and Joseph's credit, you guys were very strong articulating at the vote, like, hey, we want Jag and Jazz and Taylor and Kyland to work together. And all of us did put it aside to work together. We just obviously, when we forgot the stand thing, so that separated us. But it is because when asked, it wasn't, hey, I'm willing to gamble you guys. It was just this concept of, hey, I'm doing this for this plan of you guys working together. And so both things are true. It's like, hey, and we were talking about the gambling side, like, hey, Taylor's like, you're gambling us, you're gambling our life in this game, and you're talking about the other side of it. And it's like both things are true, but since both sides were only saying one thing, it like put it in conflict rather than just like acknowledging at the time and then in the conversation since, like, hey, yeah, both things are true, like you did here, and I appreciate that. And that's why I said, it's like Jack said, there isn't a reason to take it personally, but we also have seen, not just from this game, but from all these games, that like, there are going to be feelings. There's going to be deep feelings and they're going to be hurt, but like no one needs to be yelled, like it is much more about, I think that's the clarity that we were just missing on both sides. And that's why I'm like, there's no point in getting crazy about it.
Yeah, well, then first, I would like to say sorry for, I guess, not explicitly explaining that in Greece. That's one.
No, we didn't have time. You're fine. I wasn't asking.
To be completely honest, I thought my action of voting you guys the second time, it's implied in the action that I was gambling you guys. That is the cold-hearted truth, and I thought I explained that well enough with me saying, I hope you two can put your differences aside and work together to send Eric and Tucker home. That's it. Like, that was my explanation. I thought that was enough there, and if it wasn't, I'm sorry, and that it took so long and months later for me to give you a better explanation. But again, like, my truth, and I will completely stand on it, is that I love you guys, I love Jazz and Jag, and I love Eric and Tucker. My perfect scenario that day is slow every team down, especially you and Jazz and Jag, and send Eric and Tucker home. And I was given that opportunity, and Joseph was not convincing me not to take it. That's it.
And that's what I was saying. That is the right decision, I think, and that's never been in conflict for me. And even as Taylor and I have had multiple layers of conversation, she's come to that agreement as well.
Yeah, I didn't take statistics. I didn't make it past algebra, so it took me a long time to be like, statistics.
I'm going to put on a lighthearted note. If you guys thought this conversation got serious, you should have seen Athens. Like, this live is nothing compared to what was going down in
Athens. The whole thing, man. You guys thought my big brother eviction was crazy.
Yeah. If you guys
like Jag and Jazz versus Kyland and Taylor.
Yeah, that was actually intense. But guys, all in all, I mean, we could probably go back and forth like we have been for the months. I mean,
don't sum it up the way I just summed it up.
Kylan summed it up. Kylan summed it up perfectly. Right? Jailer still lives, even if you don't want it to. Too bad, Taylor. You're stuck with me. Still love you both. Respect you both.
I can block your fucking number in a heartbeat. What are you talking about? You pissed me off a couple times, and I blocked you without you even knowing too. So like, when I don't answer your phone call for a few days in a row, because I'm tired of your ass, and I blocked you. You know it, okay?
If you guys see that U-turn really did take a toll on us. So yeah. So,
but did you see? I was sad they didn't show because there was a lot of when we got to that freaking. First off, that climbing up the mountain with that boulder took so long. And one thing that I was going to say, too, that they didn't show is that while we were pushing it, because we're so behind, well, the markers, first off, sucked as far as figuring out where to go.
Yeah, they sucked. And the trees, too.
The other thing about it was that, the trees, I was just like, I legitimately was like, Taylor, I'm going to the details instruction said to get this boulder up there. I was like, I'm going to pop it and walk it up. And he's like, this is so risky. I was like, according to the details of those rules, it doesn't say that we can't. But I too am a gambler. So I was like, but I know you're not, and we need that. We need that energy of not gambling and not taking that risk. No. So we didn't.
Because if we did,
we don't know. But yeah, obviously,
no, if we did, it would have been.
But that's the whole thing. None of us.
They would probably tell you to go back down and push.
Yeah, I know, right?
But
here's the deal. Reading the instructions, it just said we had to get. It said if your thing breaks apart. You just need to get all of the pieces up. So that's all I was like, if it breaks apart, it doesn't say how it's broken apart. But anyways, that was a side thing. But when we got there, the reason that was a tangent, obviously. But but when we got up to the top, because that walk was so long, as far as we didn't know if any teams were still going to be there. And then seeing all the teams, and then there's a back and forth because on the roadblocks, as you guys they're usually something that is we were having a deep conversation. I'm like, hey, I know. There's a lot of emotions and stuff involved. Is this the time? And Taylor just was like, yeah, I got it. And just looking in her eyes, and I was like, okay, yeah, she got it. And then she did crush that. And a lot of people were calling it out in the comments. And they're like, hey, you guys are talking about a lot of stuff and not Taylor's win here. And I was like, yeah, she did do that.
No, yeah, she beats that. I mean, I expected no less. As I know she's gonna roll her eyes, but
get him, Taylor.
We're rolling out.
Oh, she's rolling her eyes. Well, it's nice to see it for once on camera in front of me instead of behind my back while I'm watching this back episode after episode, not knowing any of these conversations that she's irritated because I'm just like, yeah, right, this makes sense. She's like, I'm not knowing this whole time.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is on your boulder rant thing too.
Oh my god, I see my team.
Which also reminded me. So you know how we all left the stand? We asked if we could bring your guys' stand to you guys, and that
was our peace offering, and they
whoa! But I also saw that you guys forgot your stand.
But I realized
which you left out. Which you did leave out.
I realized it right away, and I was like, Joseph,
Adam, there's
another stand missing.
We saw the tape.
Take it. And they were like, no, you can't touch it.
I have to give Adam that. So we came back and we were like, we didn't know when you guys would realize your stand is missing. So your stand is there when we get back. And we asked, can we take the stand to you guys?
No, I remember that.
You guys were still there when we
then you showed, get your stand. We never find out if it would have been allowed because you guys then show up coincidentally.
No, but it was just the way, which I understand, but it just was the way that you guys were standing there like you guys had waited there from the whole time.
Oh, no, we did not wait
which once again, would have been the bad call to make.
What's actually is insane. You thought we wait. No, we're coming back also. We left the stand as well.
Yes, I realize it now. No, you didn't say it. I thought it because you talked about wanting to bring ours down. So I was like,
wow, we were like, we're back for your stand also. Well, which is crazy because we came back and did the math.
It was just funny when I thought that. It was to watch us back, and I was like, you know what? Actually, you didn't say that. You're right. I just thought that.
And then, you know what's funny? Here comes this next episode.
Oh, yeah. No, for real. But also, people were asking about the Taylor and talking about women struggling and not voting. It's like, well, yeah, there's a difference between recognizing an issue and then deciding that, I'm as someone who did play an entire game, prioritizing a mission over my individual game and knows how challenging that is. We both talked about how that wasn't what we were doing in this game. So us recognizing the struggles that the female teams are having isn't the same as saying, and we're going to gamble our game on that. That's not the same thing. No, it's not. being able to recognize that this is an issue caused by the way the show is produced. That's why there's only 3 female teams that have won the game in the history of the show. So we're talking about that. We're not talking about, so this person is saying hypocrisy. It's like, no, that's the nuance of, hey, this is an issue that the production should fix in their show because it's not our job as contestants to fix it, and we're just calling that out.
Good. Yeah, sorry, guys. I'm reading a script and I'm trying to like memorize it in the meantime. Like while we're having this conversation.
A script for what? What are you scripting?
I'm doing a commercial tomorrow at 6 a.m. And so I was like, meanwhile, like, oh, but you didn't give us the express pass. And then I was like, and we serve the best protein. Like at the same
because we knew nobody else was voting for Izzy and Paige. And not enough for them to go home. So like Joseph and Adam already said, because they said, why Izzy and Paige? It was just like, well, who is probably not going to get votes, and we're like, okay, we're going to get them. So not enough votes to go home. So, and you're right, they didn't.
Great conversation. My cue to go. I'm tired.
All right, good night, bud.
I'll see you. Good night. Congrats.
Thank you.
Also, congrats on your award.
What else happened on that episode? There was a ton of fun things we were gonna chat about.
The room service.
That was a crazy day. What were the other things we were gonna do? Yeah, the U-turn was fun. Oh, I guess Greek alphabets were pretty crazy. So when I got
people talking about sorority and fraternities, it's like this is the original Greek alphabet, not the one that you use.
It wasn't there. I didn't know it wasn't.
No, not you. But I'm saying the commentary and people are watching. I think that's why I was like, no, guys, that's not how that works.
Yeah, I also didn't know it was. I don't know. I wasn't in the moment to think it was all lowercase.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, they're all lowercase letters, and if you were in a sorority fraternity, you might not be familiar. And I was like, oh, yeah.
Did you guys have any indication this was gonna be like a memorization when it said who wanted to be alpha?
No, we just knew it had to do with the alphabet.
For sure.
Oh my god, we did not put that together. So if you guys saw when Adam was pushing up the boulder, he's like, hey, my sugar's low, so he's eating. We read who wants to be alpha after just putting the boulder and was like, oh, this has to be physical, probably indicating it's something physical. So then I volunteer and Adam's our memorization guy. So because he was like, still, hey, my sugar's still low from all of today. I was like, oh, okay, I'll go in. This is probably physical. Who wants to be alpha? It's probably going to be a physical thing. And I go in and I'm like, damn it. And then Jag, when I get in there, is like, hey, let's memorize the second row. They make it look like that was a longer conversation. We almost immediately realized that doesn't work. Jag just memorizes that second row in bolt. So I was like, okay, I got to figure this out. Doing it the other way. But I saw they were showing us repeating it. It's funny, Taylor, they didn't show you and I seeing each other. When you first came in, I don't know if you remember, I was like, go downstairs and read the jumbled letters.
I just started speed memorizing the alphabet in order because, that's what it's going to be like. And then I was like, oh.
That's what I was doing also. I started memorizing the letters in order, which I think I recall seeing you doing that. You were like alpha, whatever, memorizing it in order. And that's when I was like, it's jumbled. You need to go see the board first. So I memorized the board, which in hindsight, I don't think was much quicker. But I memorized the board itself and then went and memorized the letters. But that's why I'm standing. That was my strategy. That's why I'm standing in front of the board, just repeating random letters. I'm buying myself time to see the order of what they put it in and then matching it to the board upstairs.
Are you doing the room service again?
I was making sure it's the same thing.
Nothing with that?
Yeah, it does, but I can't. I mean, what? He's saying something.
Just explain the alphabet.
Yeah, the alphabet one was honestly, it took longer because which by the way, I think they make it look like I asked Jag to say, hey, do you want to work together for this? Jag literally goes, you memorize the second line, and then I go, so let's work together.
He asked you for help, but then
yes, and they made it look like I said, hey, let's work together, but Jag was like, okay, This is what's going on, memorize the second line and then do this. So he offers this. I'm like, okay, let's do it. He goes down, gets it on like his second try, and he's gone. So I was literally like, what the heck?
Damn, that's cold.
Yeah, I know. So then I had to like restart from scratch. And there was like a bunch of other little annoying things that were going on thank God, because I was doing such a non-traditional way. I was memorizing the board downstairs. When I would come upstairs, I was so disheveled, if you're listening to me, that people were like, oh yeah, Joseph's going to lose on this one. Like they were like, there's no way he gets out.
You were really turned around.
Yes.
Does it look good? Do you like it?
But Taylor, do you remember also what happened, which I can't talk about on the live, which really disheveled me?
Is what I said, thinking if you have more than a 4-second difference.
I'm typing it now.
Okay. Well, I mean, that I did. So it's
Do that.
if we're real honest, we we could do something here.
Oh, I'm down for that. That's home stuff. I haven't had that in forever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was another reason I had to start from scratch. So I was like, oh, okay.
You were really disheveled at that roadblock, and I was kind of hoping they'd put in the part where you like went back up looking for your
backpack. Yeah.
I was kind of hoping that would slow you down some more. But great, he's lost. Perfect.
Well, yeah, we lost our backpack. There's a funny shot. You can see me reading with no backpack, and then it's just me running with the backpack. And after I got it, there's like a 5-minute layover of me just looking for that backpack because it was lost.
Even Tucker said something before he left of like, I'm going to do this, then I'm going to get my backpack, and then I'm going to go. And I was like, what? Because it looked like you had the backpack on the whole time, but I don't really get it.
Yeah, you were supposed to place it down at some point, or oh no, you were supposed to hand it to your partner. So the rule required you to pass it to your partner, but like for some reason I had the bag, so they had to put it in some designated area, and I could not find said area. So that's why after you heard me screaming around, being like, "Where's my backpack? Oh, please!" And of course, we can't leave without a backpack. So
you could, but you'd losing all your shit. So.
Yeah, we would be sent right back home.
Damn.
We were like the only. Oh my god, it's almost 12. Okay, well I am going to call it because I have to be up in literally like 5 hours for this.
Night.
Good night.
Wait, what are you reading a script for again?
Commercial.
Commercial. That's what I thought you said. All right.
Yes. All right. I love you guys.